Good afternoon, coin collectors. It's a very grey day outside today. We've been having light showers for most of the day, and I thought today would be the ideal um, day to whip out a few coins and make a video. So, in front of me, you will see I have two coins. One of them is a penny. These pennies are bronze. They comprise of 95% copper, and I have a Maria Theresa Thaler. Now, I've done a video on this Thaler before. I normally have it on a chain and carry it as a pendant around my neck. So I've removed the chain. I'm going to show you a bit of a trick. But before we get to that, an interesting little thing that just popped into my head. These thalers were used throughout the 1800s and even well into the early 20th century. These thalers were used as trade bullion. They were used as silver trade bullion all over North Africa, throughout the Arab world, and in Europe. So these thalers have a long history behind them, and one interesting little note that I would like to mention is the word dollar is actually derived from the word thaler. Many people pronounce it as Thaler because it's spelled Thaler. However, in the Eastern Europe, Austria region, you would pronounce it as Thaler. And yeah, like I said, the word dollar is actually derived from the word thaler. So that's an interesting little note. And if you pronounce dollar in a Southern American accent, you can hear the similarity, that dollar and thaler sounds very similar. It's because the word dollar is derived from the word thaler. So that's an interesting little side note. However, the reason why I'm doing this video is I would like to show you interesting way of testing for silver. So with silver, you can get many silver bullion or silver coins that are forgeries or fakes or plated, and one little interesting way is about the properties that silver has. Silver is not magnetic. However, it does exhibit certain characteristics when placed in a magnetic field or close to a magnetic field. This that I have here is a little magnet. It's called a rare earth magnet, and it's stronger than your conventional magnet. Now you can see that the silver is not magnetic and the copper is not magnetic as well, but we have something that we call a rare earth magnet test, and that's how you can test for silver. So if I just have this little copper coin here, and you see the coin is vertical. If I just twist the coin diagonally and I take the magnet and I let it run down the coin, you see the magnet falls down the coin immediately. There's no resistance, there's no attraction. The magnet just slides down the coin without any resistance. However, if I take silver and I let the magnet slide down the coin, you will notice that there is a lot of resistance. The coin is not magnetic, however, you do see resistance taking place. Yes, so you do see resistance taking place, and that's one of the tests for silver. Different metals have different properties when it comes to magnetism. Um, Copper does exhibit this resistance to magnetic fields, however, not as much as silver. As you saw with the bronze coin, it just slid down the coin with very little resistance, and with silver you can see it's a very slow slide. So that is one of the ways to test your silver, and I always do carry a little magnet on me. um, Not that I'm going to come across silver and try and test for it, but it's always a nice trick to show somebody that's not aware of how you would test for silver. Also, another method of knowing your silver is obviously the weight and feel of it. After handling silver for a while, you learn the weight and the feel of it. So, one thing that struck me the very first time I held a silver rand was how much heavy that coin was than a normal copper coin. So the first time I held the silver rand, I immediately could feel this is much more heavy than a normal copper coin. So, there's other characteristics that you can of silver that you can use to test for silver as well. One of them is a conductive test. Silver is the most conductive metal of all metals. Um, when it comes to heat being transferred, when it comes to electricity being transferred, silver is extremely conductive. So, if you have a cup of hot water or cup of boiling water, for example, and you were to hold the silver coin like that, and you were to dip the coin in the boiling water or the hot water, and you were to just dip the coin in so that the half of the coin were submerged, that coin would immediately uh, turn hot. If it was a silver coin, silver is extremely conductive, and that's one of the ways that you test for silver cutlery or silverware. If you have a little silver spoon, and if you want to know if that spoon is silver or silver plated, all you need to do is hold the tip of the spoon and dip that spoon into a cup of hot water, and the tip of the spoon would get immediately hot. With a stainless steel spoon or with any other type of spoon, you would have to hold onto the tip of that spoon for a minute for the spoon to get hot. With silver, that the tip would get immediately hot. So silver is extremely conductive when it comes to heat. That's one of the ways. Another way for testing for silver would be called the ice block, that also uses the conductive properties, as if you just have a little silver coin or silver bar, and you place a little ice block on the coin, that little ice block would melt immediately because of the conductive properties of silver. The heat would transfer from the block, the ice block, to the coin. It would melt immediately. So, yeah, that's a little video I thought I would just do on testing for silver, a bit of background on the Thaler. So, let me hear your comments. Share your comments with me. Give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I thank you for watching.